It started with the message that wasn't meant for him. Not just any message, a message that destroyed everything. Ethan wasn't the kind of person who checked other people's phones. He believed in privacy, trust, space. At least, that's what he told himself. But that night felt different. The apartment was quiet, too quiet. No TV, no music, no background noise. Just the soft hum of the refrigerator and the ticking of the wall clock that suddenly felt louder than ever. His girlfriend, Laura, had left her phone on the kitchen counter, unlocked, screen still glowing. And that's when he saw it. A notification. A name he didn't recognize. I can't keep lying to him like this. Ethan froze. Not because he didn't understand the message, but because he understood it too well. At first, he tried to ignore it, tried to be the better person. He turned away, walked toward the living room, sat down, stood up again, sat back down. His heart was beating faster now, not racing, just heavier, like something inside him already knew what he would find. He went back, slowly, like he was approaching something dangerous. The phone was still there, still unlocked, still waiting. He told himself one thing before picking it up. If I open this, there's no going back. And then he picked it up anyway. The conversation was already open, no password, no hiding, which made it worse, because it meant she didn't think she needed to hide it, or she didn't expect him to see it. The messages were long, weeks long, maybe months. He started scrolling, slowly at first, then faster, then too fast to even process everything. Last night felt wrong. I keep thinking about him. I don't know how much longer I can pretend. Do you think he suspects anything? Ethan stopped, scrolled back up, then down again, reading the same lines, over and over. There was no confusion, no ambiguity. Laura was talking to someone else, and not just talking, confessing, planning, struggling. But something felt off. It wasn't just cheating. It didn't read like a typical affair. There was something deeper, something heavier. Then he saw a message that made his stomach drop. He's not who you think he is. Ethan blinked, read it again. His first instinct was denial. They're talking about someone else. But the next message erased that possibility. If you tell him, everything falls apart. His hands started shaking, not dramatically, just enough to make holding the phone uncomfortable. Then came the reply, from Laura. I know, but he deserves to know the truth. Ethan felt something shift inside him. Not anger. Not yet. Something colder, more controlled. Because now this wasn't just betrayal. This was something else, something bigger. He kept reading, and that's when everything changed. You weren't supposed to survive. Ethan dropped the phone. It hit the floor with a dull sound, but he didn't pick it up, didn't move, didn't breathe. You weren't supposed to survive. His mind raced, searching, grabbing onto memories that suddenly felt unstable. 3 years ago, the accident, a late-night drive, rain, slippery roads, a truck that came out of nowhere. He remembered the impact, the sound, the darkness, and then the hospital. Weeks later, recovery, pain, Laura by his side the entire time, caring, supportive, loving. He always thought he was lucky. Lucky to be alive, lucky to have her. But now that memory felt wrong, incomplete. Ethan picked up the phone again, slowly, like it might explode. He kept reading. We agreed not to talk about that night. We buried it for a reason. You said you'd never bring it up again. Ethan's breathing became shallow because he was never supposed to wake up. The words didn't feel real, like they belonged to someone else's life, someone else's story. But they were here, on her phone, and they were about him. The front door clicked. Ethan looked up. Lara stepped inside, holding grocery bags, smiling. "Hey, you're home early." Ethan didn't respond. She noticed the phone in his hand, her phone, and just like that, her smile disappeared. There was no denial, no confusion, no, "What are you doing?" Just silence. And that told Ethan everything. "Who is he?" Ethan asked. His voice was calm, too calm. Lara didn't answer. She put the bags down, slowly, carefully, like she was buying time. "It's not what you think," she said. Ethan almost laughed. "Then tell me what it is." She hesitated, and that hesitation was louder than any confession. "Say it," Ethan said. Lara looked at him, really looked at him, like she was seeing him for the first time in years. And then she said something that changed everything. "You weren't supposed to remember." Ethan felt the ground shift beneath him. "What?" "The accident," she whispered. "It wasn't just an accident." Silence. Heavy. Crushing. Ethan's mind tried to reject it, to fight it, to protect him, but something inside him already knew. "What did you do?" Ethan asked. Lara shook her head, tears forming. "It wasn't just me. That was worse." "Who else?" She didn't answer. "Who else?" he shouted. Her voice broke. "My brother." Ethan froze. Her brother? Daniel. The same Daniel who helped them move, who joked at dinner, who hugged him after the accident. "Why?" Ethan asked. And Lara said the one thing he never expected. "Because of what you did." Ethan stepped back. "What are you talking about?" But Lara wasn't looking at him anymore. She was looking at the past. "You don't remember, do you?" And suddenly, Ethan wasn't sure, because there were gaps, small ones, moments that didn't quite connect. "What did I do?" Ethan whispered. Lara closed her eyes. "You ruined his life." Ethan shook his head. No, that's not. You testified against him." The words hit like a punch. Courtroom, flashbulbs, a case, fragments, broken memories. "He went to prison because of you," Lara said. Ethan staggered back. "I told the truth." "No," she snapped. "You told your version of the truth." "And we lost everything." Her voice wasn't angry anymore. It was empty. "Daniel lost years of his life." Ethan's chest tightened. "So you tried to kill me?" The question hung in the air. Lara didn't answer. Which was the answer? But then she said something unexpected. "I didn't want it to go that far." Ethan looked up. "It was supposed to scare you." "Scare me?" he repeated. "The brakes," she whispered. Ethan's blood ran cold. "They were supposed to fail just enough." He stared at her. "But the rain, the truck, everything went wrong." And suddenly, the accident wasn't random anymore. It was planned. Ethan felt something inside him crack. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough. "So what now?" he asked. Lara didn't answer, because there was nothing left to say. But then the phone buzzed again. A new message from the same number. "Did you tell him?" Ethan picked it up, slowly, and typed something Lara didn't expect. "Yes." 3 dots appeared instantly. Then it's too late." Ethan frowned. Too late for what? But the next message didn't come. Instead, there was a knock at the door. Not loud, not aggressive, just certain. Ethan and Lara looked at each other. Neither of them moved. The knock came again. And that's when Lara whispered, "He's here." Ethan walked to the door. Every step felt heavier than the last. He opened it, and there he was, Daniel. But something was wrong. He wasn't angry. He wasn't emotional. He was calm, too calm. "I told you not to tell him," Daniel said quietly. Ethan stared at him. "What is going on?" Daniel stepped inside, closed the door, and then said something that shattered everything. "You really don't remember, to you. Ethan's heart dropped. Remember what? Daniel smiled. Not kindly, the truth. And then he said it. You weren't the victim in that accident. Silence. You were the driver. Ethan felt his entire reality collapse. What? Daniel's voice stayed calm. You weren't hit. You hit them. Ethan shook his head. No, that's not. You were drunk, Daniel said. The word echoed. Drunk. And you ran the light. Ethan's breath stopped. And my brother? Daniel's voice broke. Just slightly. Was in the other car. Everything went silent. Because suddenly, it all made sense. The missing memories, the gaps, the confusion. You testified, Daniel continued. And somehow, you walked away clean. Ethan couldn't speak. Witness confusion. Lack of evidence. Your lawyer did a great job. Laura looked at Ethan, tears falling. You destroyed us. Ethan's world was collapsing in real time. So we fixed it, Daniel said. Ethan looked up. Fixed it, Daniel nodded. You were supposed to die that night. And now, Ethan understood everything. But it was too late, because Daniel reached into his jacket. And this time, there would be no accident, just truth and consequences. The last thing Ethan realized was that sometimes the scariest secrets are the ones your own mind hides from you. And sometimes, for a while, you really believe you're the victim until the truth finally catches up. And when it does, there's no escape.